Hello everyone, and welcome back to Infantry Only Fire Emblem 4, the only Fire Emblem Let's Play series on YouTube that decides that 2 in the morning is an appropriate time to start recording voice lines. Last episode, we made it through Oops All Dragon Knights, and this episode, we're about to tackle Oops All Mages. And let me tell you, Fire Emblem's a weird place where nerds with books are far more terrifying than people riding literal dragons. So let's just see if we can manage to plow through a group of dark mages being in a Kaga game where resistance just doesn't exist. Warning, it is not very easy. Before we can even get started on the chapter, we already have to put up with some mage-related fucketry. Manfroy appears and kidnaps Julia and takes her away from my army until we can save her in the final chapter. This does suck a major amount of ass because Julia is a very powerful combat unit due to how lucky I've been with her speed, and her staff utility is, well, staff utility. It's not all bad though, as Patty and Faval can now promote, which isn't necessarily good because of the stats they get, though trust me, the stats are good. The main thing is Patty now has Pursuit naturally, which means we can sell that Pursuit ring on her and put it on to someone else. And as for the candidate for the Pursuit ring, there were a lot of options. Now, as we all know, Pursuit is the most valuable skill in the game, and a lot of our units could really use it. Specifically, my eyes start to look towards the Magic siblings, Leaf, Hannibal, Yohalvir, etc. And in the end, I ultimately decide to give it to Arthur, for a few reasons. One, he's going to be doing an absurd amount of damage to dangerous units being able to double with Forseti, so that's a big plus. And secondly, Hannibal and Yohalvir can kind of cheat by using brave weapons to double, and plus Yohalvir can activate charge a lot due to his high HP pool, and Hannibal's not really going to need the ability to double too much, plus his speed's low, so not much you can do about that. It is going to be bad because Tinny could really use it, but ultimately it's not too much of a loss. And Leaf isn't going to be doing too much damage regardless, so giving him Pursuit doesn't really help him all that much. And right out the gate, we encounter the first of many groups of mages this chapter has to offer. Now, these mages are actually much more threatening than your normal mages, because they have a fancy little spell called Hell, an attack that hits you with the opening cinematic. And the opening cinematic is one of the most terrifying spells in the game. This is because it's the dark magic spell that reduces your HP to 1. Not exactly a tactic that people are unfamiliar with. However, most of us play the GBA games first, where we laugh at this spell because it never hits anything. All it's useful for is breaking walls. However, in the original game it came from, it's a little bit more powerful because they realized that this spell is actually really scary if you give it a hit rate. The problem is we can't even take this slow and steady. First of all, they have sleep staff users, which means that we're just going to get put to sleep if we don't kill them quickly. There's also a dude going to kill some children. You know, classic Jagdral fun times. However, this guy's decided he's had enough with killing children, and now he's decided he's just going to kill children slowly. An interesting character arc, but one that does buy us time to go save a group of 5 children. And normally, I'd say green units aren't people. Fuck them even if they are children. However, we can rescue these children for free level ups. And as we all know, green units matter as long as they give me something to gain. So we do have to go through this quickly. Thankfully, the dark mages aren't the tankiest in the world. Even Hannibal's able to notch in a few kills. But we do kind of just have to accept that they'll put us to sleep. However, this is why the Restore Staff exists, so while this opening bit is strenuous, the only thing you have to be afraid of is it's an encounter that happens on the first turn. So if you fuck up, you have to redo the arena for all of your units all over again, and that's just unfortunate. The boss of the first castle is Hilda, also known as the biggest bitch in all of Jagdral. Now, she doesn't actually have a legendary tome, which is a little bit better than most mages will be fighting. However, she still packs a huge punch. Even more unfortunate is that by the time my forces meet up to clash with Riddell, it's all right in front of her castle, so I kinda have to position myself as to not get fucked by her and Riddell's forces. This creates a bit of a clusterfuck of a match, but Riddell's forces aren't too powerful, and also, you know, Shannon. So we're able to take care of them fairly simply. Now, we need to take a quick moment of silence, because with Riddell's death, we have officially killed the last enemy in the game that uses that generic portrait. It will be missed. Once Hilda is out of the picture, I decide to give all the kids over to Corporal so that he can get those level ups. This is because he's a level 1 priest that we got last chapter, and even with staff abuse, his levels are really far behind. The kids give him just enough levels to get up to level 20, so I decide to send him back home where he belongs. There's not a whole lot he's going to be able to contribute upcoming in the chapter, so we're just going to send him home, get him promoted, buy him a book, and just let him be for now. And in addition to that, it's time to move west and conquer the second castle, which, bizarrely enough, doesn't really get any guards. There's like 3 dudes in front of it and the boss, but it's always felt weird to me that getting to the second castle is so uneventful. You'd feel like there'd be more shit to come out, but no, it was just Riddell's forces. Once we conquer both castles, the gate leading to the northern end of the chapter opens, and it is here that the biggest load of ass happens in the entire chapter. This part is swarming with Hellbook users and Sleep Staff users, ready to make our lives a living hell. There are more Sleep Staffs here than Lana is able to restore, even if she's danced by Lean. So we just have to move quickly and hope to God hell doesn't screw us over. It is a very tricky part that will require a lot of resets. In particular, Hannibal almost died, but thankfully he was able to proc Pavice on an attack that would have killed him, which is great. And as the chapter went on, it happened again, but Pavice activated, which was great. And wait a minute, am I praising the activation of Pavice?
Maybe I don't want to be the bad guy anymore.
And as if that isn't bad enough, we also have to deal with the fact that Julius and Ishtar show up. And while a unit can survive an attack from Ishtar, if Julius attacks you, you're pretty much as good as dead. Now, they'll only leave when one of them dies. You don't have to kill both of them. So naturally, I do the only intelligent thing and kill Larcey. Once their game is won, they'll just leave as well. So we just offer up Larcey to the Elder Gods and tell her to fuck off. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's not actually what we do. Remember how I said that Corporal really wasn't going to be able to do anything else this chapter? Well, I have to make a confession to you guys. I'm a fucking liar. Corporal, thanks to his father being Claude, has the Valkyrie Staff, which can bring back any unit from the dead as long as you have the money to pay for it. And guess what? We just sacrificed a woman, so it's very easy to just bring her back. The only problem is you have to be in the home castle to do this, so that's why I left Corporal there this entire time. See, I am capable of having big brain strategies. Not all the time, not even as much as some of the time, but occasionally I can actually put some foresight into my decisions. Don't get used to it. After we wait for Larcey and Corporal to get all the way back to where we were, it's time to engage the final part of this chapter, a battle on a one-tile bridge in order to pierce our way through to Arvis. Now, normally this wouldn't be too bad, as the one bridge allows us to effortlessly just wait there with Hannibal in the lead. Problem: we have to get through there quickly because Paulmark isn't trusted with the Typh Ring to give to Seliph, and if we don't have that, we're going to have a bad time. So we have to go quickly. With our full force, we're able to break through, but we do have to rush Seliph over there with that leg ring still equipped to him, because this is one of those things where us not having cavalry is actually a little difficult. Thankfully, the units, again, aren't too difficult to deal with. The only problem is Seliph gets hit by 3 straight 40% and dies. So I decide to have him move only 1 space less, so he only gets hit by 2 things potentially. And guess what? That time he dodged both of them effortlessly. I swear God is real and he is mocking me. Paulmark was also guarding some more children, and just like the last children, we want to get our grubby hands on them for experience. I decided to give them to Hannibal and Patty. Patty because her levels are a little low, and her growths are good enough that a few more level ups is really going to help her combat. Hannibal doesn't have very good growths, but every single level up is 1% more for Pavice to activate, which is more useful than any stats could possibly be. Well, maybe stats could be a little useful. Okay, stats are really useful, but trust me, I'm just showing blind favoritism to a unit I like. Now for the clash with Arvis, I decide to have Seliph fight him mano-a-mano. Now you might be thinking to yourself, isn't this very long and time consuming because Seliph can't promote and Arvis has a really high defense? Yes. However, Seliph is never in danger of dying because I'm instantly healing him, so it's really just a war of attrition. And it's not just for the theming. That's part of it, but it's also because you want Seliph to be the one to land the killing blow on Arvis, because after you do so, you can go down for the beach episode of Fire Emblem 4, and it is a lot less fun than other beach episodes. Not as bad as Berserk's though. If Seliph is the one to land the final blow on Arvis, you'll want to move him down to the beach just south of the castle, where the ghosts of Deidre and Sigurd will appear to congratulate Seliph on what he's done, and remark that he's not done yet, and that there's more things he'll need to accomplish. This is a very touching moment, if a bit weird that the ghosts of Deidre and Sigurd just exist. I don't think it's ever mentioned how or why, but whatever, it's emotional. It's emotional. This also gives us the Renewal Ring, or Life Ring I think it's called, which grants Seliph a really good regeneration tool, and since he'll be on the front lines of the Typh Ring, it's really good. There's a reason I've had the Renewal Band on Larcey this entire time. It's just a good-ass ring. Also, it's really funny to me that Sigurd's final message is literally just,
"Change the world. My final message. Goodbye."
And with that, we have completed the penultimate chapter of Fire Emblem 4. It's a little bullshit with all the mages, but it's nothing that you can't handle with enough preparation, and yes, enough luck. Next time we have the final chapter, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm both really excited for and really scared of. The last chapter of this game is not easy, and with a limited unit pool it might be even harder. I'm especially worried about how the fuck I'm going to get Altena to talk to Aeron when I can't use her for combat, and trust me, we're going to want to do that because Aeron's a huge help. But that's a problem for me of another time. The me of this time is telling you all, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, but no one ever fucking rings the bell, so I won't judge you if you don't. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Can't believe I cheered for Pavise in this chapter. God damn, who am I?